Welcome to this bookish vlog. I look a mess right now. I just woke up. If you are wondering where I'm at, I'm in the laundry room because they are currently renovating my bathroom. They started drilling everything at literally 7 a.m. and I wanted to not wake up. And then my dad has someone visiting here to look at the blinds for all of the windows. It's been a whole hot mess in our house, but I'm getting ready because we are going to spend an entire day doing a bunch of bookish things together. I'm getting ready right now because the first thing that we're going to do is go to my scheduled shift for volunteering at the library bookstore. And then we have to go to the library because I need to return some books and we'll see what's new at the library. And then I wanted to go to an indie bookstore. Definitely want to go to Half Price Books. Then I wanted to end the day by reading at the park. So we have a whole bookish day ahead of us. And I'm going to take you guys on with me. This background looks insane. I'm sorry. I don't have any contacts or my glasses on, so I can't actually see, but I can already imagine what this looks like. Okay, I am all ready to go, but I wanted to go over the books that I am bringing today because I am a huge mood reader, and when I tell you I'm in the mood for none of the books that are on my TBR. Yeah. Anyway, I'm bringing my Kindle because I have an arc of Molka by Monica Kim, which is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Ask me if I've started. No, I haven't. So I want to bring that. I'm low-key behind on arcs, but I feel like I'm always going to be low-key behind on arcs. And then I also do need to start Beloved by Toni Morrison because this is for Fat's book club this month and the discussion I think is happening this weekend, so I need to start this. I haven't even started it. I know that this is really sad and dark, so we'll see how that goes, but I need to start this because I want to finish this before the discussion. And then I was planning on bringing The Fellowship of the Ring, but I stopped exactly at 50% because I am doing a Reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time vlog, and I don't really want to continue until I update that vlog on my thoughts as I'm 50% in. So I think I'm going to leave this here and pick this back up tonight when I get back home once I update my vlog. Sorry for the drilling. And then I am bringing I Gave You Eyes and You Look Towards Darkness because it's due at the library soon and I have not read it at all. I haven't even opened this book till just now. Going to bring these 3 books with me and we'll see which one I'm in the mood to even attempt. I haven't started any of them. Let's go, because I gotta go. Okay, guys, I am done with my volunteering shift. And so we are now going to head over to the library to return a stack of books that I didn't even get to read because I don't know who I think I am. I'm always such an ambitious person when I go to the library, thinking that, oh yeah, I'll borrow this, and that, and I'll have so much time to read these books. Mind you, some of the books that I'm returning today, I've already renewed twice, and once you've renewed twice, you can't renew again. So I've literally had some of these books for months, like since the beginning of the year. And I still haven't read them. So I'm delusional when it comes to the library. Really, I am. But at least I am helping the library out and borrowing books instead of spending money and giving some business to the libraries. But I really, I hope I don't end up finding any books that I want to borrow today because I already still have a stack of library books at home that I haven't even touched. But we're going to head over to the library right now. And then I have to take a little bit of a break to get some gas, and then we're going to head to Half Price Books right after. The bookish day continues. Okay, I got to this library at literally the worst time because it is right across from a school, I think an elementary to middle school, and literally school just got out. A billion students just walked into the library, and then the parking lot behind me is all backed up because everyone's trying to get out because they're all picking up their kids, and I had to get out. But remember when I said that I wasn't going to try and find any books and borrow any books? Yeah, I fucking lied. I lied. I sure did. I left with a bunch of books, and I will go through my haul later when we get home. But I did borrow books. Yes, I did. Yeah, I sure did. I have no self-control when it comes to the library, okay? I get in and I'm in heaven. Books are free. What can I say? I'm delusional. But I got some books that have been on my TBR for a really long time and books I'm really excited to read. All of them are romance. I'm in a romance mood. And when I'm in the mood for romance, I really want to lean heavily into it because they're far and few between, the moments where I'm really into romance. I think it's because I just finished Rewind to Back by Liz Tomforty, and it was fucking incredible. Finally got to it. I'm so sad that the Windy City series is over, but I just finished it. It was amazing, and it reminded me how much I love well-written romances, and so I'm chasing that high. So I really want to lean into it and try to find more romances that I can fall back in love with because the genre has been testing me lately. Also, I need to turn my car on because it's hot as shit. And I'm sorry, I need to turn the AC on. I'm literally dying, but you probably won't be able to hear me because of the AC. But it's so fucking hot, you guys. I'm like sweating. I don't know if you can see that. I'm literally dripping sweat. Oh my God. Success at the library. I returned everything that I wanted to return. Did I leave with books? Yeah. Am I going to read them? Who's to say? But I'll go over everything that I got when I get home because there's no good way for me to position my phone to show you guys the books that I got in this car. Now I have to go get gas, and then I'm thinking we go get some boba. Okay, we get some milk tea, and then we head over to Half Price Books. I'm really excited. I haven't been to Half Price Books in a minute. I don't want to say that I'm going to self-control myself because that clearly didn't work out at the library. I'm hoping it does a little bit at half price because I'll have to actually buy the books. And you guys know I'm on a book buying ban because I'm trying to read more books on my physical TBR, but we'll see if I find anything at Half Price Books. But let's go get gas, some milk tea, and then head to Half Price Books. So I'm back home. We had a very productive bookish day, and yeah, it's time for a haul because not only were books borrowed, some books were bought. Yes, they were. For my last stop, I was going to go to an indie bookstore after Half Price Books, but it's already almost 5 o'clock, and I have enough books already that I have come home with. I didn't need any more. I really didn't. I'm at my capacity for the amount of books that I am bringing back home for today. Didn't go to an indie bookstore. I didn't even go to the park to read because, like I said, it's already almost 5 o'clock and there's some stuff that I still need to do here at home, like laundry. But before I finish this vlog, I do want to show you the books that I got, and then I also need to update my reading journal. I also need to update the Lord of the Rings vlog that I'm doing, and then I also want to read more. I've really only been reading my arc of Molka by Monica Kim, and I didn't even realize that I'm already 48% into the book. I'm almost at 50%. That's how much I read today because I cannot put this book down. It is so good. Like I said, it's one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and so far, she's hitting. I really couldn't put it down. I want to keep reading. Like, I want to finish this book. When I was at Happy Lemon, I took a break and sat down and just read some of the book because I was like, what happens next? This is really good so far. I mean, I'm already 50% of the way through the book. I feel like I could maybe finish it tonight. I do need to charge my Kindle though. There's only 4% left. So I feel like I could finish this arc tonight. I do want to read more of The Lord of the Rings. I didn't even open any of the other books that I brought today, which I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I always like to give myself options because you never know. Let me show you guys the books that I ended up borrowing from the library and the books that I did end up buying at Half Price Books. Okay, we have my huge bag of books here. This tote is from Shop Bibliophile. I think it is so, oh my god, ignore the boba stains on it, but I think it's so cute. It looks like a diptyque candle. Love. I got 2 historical romances. I got Wild Rain by Beverly Jenkins and The Prince of Broadway by Joanna Shoup. These are two historical romance authors that I've been dying to try for the longest time. These specific books are ones that I was looking for because these are always on the lists of child-free by choice books whenever I am, researching books with that trope in it. And these are two historical romances that are always at the top of those lists. So I really wanted to read these. I've never read anything by these authors before, so I'm really excited to see what they have to offer. They actually have very similar color schemes on their covers, both purple. So we got those two. I don't even know where to put this. And then I got two books from the author Lucy Parker because she's one of my favorite romance authors of all time. I have these two mass market paperback books by her, Pretty Face and Headliners, and these two are some of my favorite books. I've mentioned these books in other videos before, love them, and I just love her humor in her books. These are really hard to find. I wouldn't say that they're indie published, but they're not traditionally published in a sense that they are in bookstores at all. Like, I had to find these used copies online on Pango Books. That's how I found these. I can't find these anywhere, like in bookstores or anything, and they only come in these mass market paperback sizes, which is insane. I love these books so much. I love this author. I had seen that she has contemporary romances traditionally published that are in bookstores, but I wanted to see if the writing would be similar to this series that she has written. I found Codename Charming and also Battle Royale. They're published by Avon, so they are the traditionally published contemporary romances, and they have the signature cartoon drawing covers. We'll see how this goes. I actually have never heard anyone talk about these books, so I don't know if people like them or if they're good, but very interesting that she has these two that are, traditionally published, and then these ones that are only in mass market paperback. I don't get that, but whatever. And then the last book I got from the library is actually a book called Scandalized by Ivy Owens. And I remember this being on my TBR for the longest time. I can't remember why, but it's one of those books where I've been putting it off and putting it off. But I saw it at the library and I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to read that for a really long time, to the point that I've forgotten why I initially wanted to even read it. But yeah, this has always like stood out in my mind whenever I see it at Half Price Books. I'm like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to read that. I found it at the library, so maybe I'll finally get to it now that I have it. Those are all the books that I got at the library. As you can see, all of them are romance. I only got two books at Half Price Books. I actually was initially going to get Hench because the second book came out, but I was thinking I could find it at the library. I really am trying, guys. I'm really trying not to buy or add anything to my physical TBR, truly. But I did buy two books. The first book I bought was a historical romance by Courtney Milan. I actually was trying to look for Courtney Milan books at the library, but I couldn't find any of her books there. That's why I decided to pick it up at Half Price Books, because it's only $7.99. And from the feel and look of this, it feels like a book that is either self-published or indie published. There is no like publishing house on the cover at all, and it has that sort of matte feeling that indie / self-published books have, if you know what I'm talking about. But I believe Courtney Milan is an Asian author, and all of her historical romances have Asian characters in it, which is really rare. She's another historical author that I've been meaning to try for a long time, so I'm excited to finally get one of her books. And then I did buy a hardcover brand new book. Okay, listen though. At Half Price Books, when you buy a brand new book that has just been published, it's always at least 10% cheaper. Like, the full price of this is $30. It was only $25.50. And I also had a 10% off coupon that I've been saving for books that are more than the $7.99 that I find at Half Price Books. And also, this is the new book by Miko Kawakami called Sisters in Yellow, one of my most anticipated releases of the year. And also, this is a signed first edition copy. I didn't have a choice. I had to get it, I have read nearly every Miko Kawakami book that has been translated into English. She is one of my favorite Japanese authors. Love her down. And it's signed, okay? I know that it's hardcover and it's brand new, but it's signed, baby. And first edition. I wasn't going to pass that up. I really wasn't, So yeah, I got this. I'm really excited to read it. I would say that me only leaving Half Price Books with two books is a huge win, considering in the past I've left that store with minimum 10 books. I'm not kidding. That's my haul from today. I feel like we've done so much today, you guys. And the day is not over yet. I'm going to kind of get my shit together because all of my room is a mess right now. So I'm going to tidy up a bit, and then I'm going to throw in a load of laundry into the washing machine, and then we're going to go out onto my patio. And like I said, I need to update my reading journal, and I'll kind of show you guys the layout of my reading journal. We're going to do that, and then I'm going to read whatever I end up reading while I'm outside. Okay, I was going to journal outside of my patio, but it is super windy outside. I was filming an update for my Lord of the Rings vlog outside, and you could barely hear me over the wind. And every time I try to open this journal, the pages kept flipping because of the wind. I'm not even gonna bother with any of that mess. So we're back at my desk, and I'm going to just update my journal here. This is my reading journal. I will put in some B-roll shots of a closer look of what it looks like on the outside and also the inside. And I had this system at the beginning of the year where I had all these book reflection questions that I would answer for each individual book that I read. And that was working for quite some time. But I realized that there are some books that don't really require me to go into that much depth or reflection on it. Some books I honestly just read for fun, and it isn't something that I need to critically analyze or really think deep about. For some of the books that I've read, I do have very lengthy reflections on them, but for other books, I have just bullet points for anything worthy of note that stands out in my mind about those books that I want to touch back upon when I'm doing my reviews online or doing my recaps at the end of the months. That has helped me a little bit because, like I said, sometimes I really just don't need to think too deeply about these books. They are not that serious. I'm gonna go ahead and update this. The last book that I have made an entry for was The Heat of Us by Eliana Lee. I've since read 2 books, Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker, and of course Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty. I'm going to go into a lot of depth with that one because I have a lot to say about Rewind It Back. I was an emotional wreck after finishing that, so I am going to get into it. The journal that I use is this Stalogy journal that I got off of Amazon, but you can find this at Barnes & Noble. They have them everywhere online. I used to not be a fan of journals that had really thin paper, but I switched to all of my notebooks for my journals to this brand. And I also, as you know, have a Hobonichi, and it also has a very thin paper. I've officially been converted. I love the thin paper. Before, all of my journals were the Archer and Olive bullet journals that had very thick ass paper. I think it was 160 GSM. Thick paper, babe. You could paint on those pages and it would not bleed through. And I used to only ever use those journals. But now, I don't know what it is, guys, but I like flipping through the journals and feeling that crinkly sensation and just how I can feel the writing on the pages. I don't know. I've been converted to a thin paper now. Anyway, that's the notebook that I use. The pen of choice that I use is the Bic Atlantis in black. It is so smooth to write on in these pages specifically. And then my holy grail item for journaling, whether it's my reading journal or my Hobonichi or my memory keeping journal. As you can see, I have a lot of photos in my journals, and the reason why I do is because of this holy grail item, and that is this Canon Ivy printer. This is genius. This is one of the best investment purchases I've ever made in my life. I don't even think it's really that expensive. I got this on Amazon last year or the year before. But it's this small little printer, and once you open it up, this is the size of the sheet that it prints out on, and it comes with a sticky back, so it already comes as with its own adhesive, like a sticker. These are the packets of zinc paper. Comes with a sticky backed photo paper, and then this blue little sheet that it comes with. When you have to refill it, you put that blue sheet down first and then the rest of the printer paper, and then it'll spit that blue sheet out, and that blue sheet is what helps provide the ink for this printer, so you don't even have to buy ink. You just have to buy these refills of the paper, and this blue little sheet acts as the, I don't even know how it works. I don't know how that technology works, but that's all you need, and then it'll print out these pictures fully in color. It's truly incredible, honestly, and it's saved me so much ink from the way I used to do it, which was printing it out on my old school printer and using double-sided tape. For my pictures now, I literally just print things out and just stick them on everywhere. And it's incredible. Truly the best investment I've ever made. So I'm going to print out the covers for these books, and then we are going to go ahead and update my reading journal. You guys, gagged. I'm gagged. Yeah. The fact that I finished an entire book in this vlog, which was not the goal at all. I was not intending or expecting to finish an entire book during this vlog. I really just wanted to read and spend a bookish day with you guys. But this arc, when this comes out, I need all you girlies to pick this up, because this is truly the definition of 1, female rage, and 2, women in male-dominated fields. To tell you quickly what this book is about, you have Daye, and she is dating this uber wealthy heir to the president of a huge conglomerate entertainment business in Korea, and he is love bombing her. He is playing her, but she doesn't know it. She doesn't know it. And she's dealing with the grief of losing her sister, a death that she feels partially responsible for, and she works at this company. And the other perspective we follow is her co-worker Jun-yoon, who hate him hate him. The men in this book were repulsive. They are the definition of misogynist, sexist, disgusting perverts. Not all men, but always a man. Always a man, truly. Their stories somehow intertwine, and there is a story of revenge. And Molka means, Molka, the title of the book, actually is a Korean word. Molka is the Korean term for hidden or miniature spy cameras secretly and illegally installed, often to capture voyeuristic images and videos. That is a big theme in this book. You have disgusting men placing spy cameras in women's restrooms, filming women in their most vulnerable state, filming women while they are having sex. Like, it's disgusting. Men are gross. And then the way that scandals happen when those videos are exposed, and what happens to the woman and what happens to the man. And like I said, women taking their revenge. Oh yeah, babe. Like I said, women in male-dominated fields. This was actually really tough to read because it tackles such a hard topic that I think is still relevant today, because society is not kind to women in situations like this, to survivors of situations like this. There are definitely a lot of tough scenes to read. Definitely, if you get uneasy or triggered by certain things, please look up the content warnings in this book, because some of it was really tough. However, this author's writing always grips you in a way that you want to keep going, and you want to keep reading about what's going to happen to these characters and what moves they're going to make next, because her characters, babe, they make moves and you will never guess their next move. Because surely I didn't. And I had no idea how this was going to end, but wow. Gagged. Truly gagged. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. Yes, it was. This was iconic. If you are even remotely interested in this author's writing, I highly recommend reading her first book, which is The Eyes Are the Best Part, because that was such a stunning debut. But this second book, this sophomore novel, how did she get better? The woman can do no wrong. This book was fantastic. I highly recommend. When it comes out, you guys need to get on it, because this book was phenomenal. Yeah, we are ending this bookish vlog on a 5-star book. I would say that we had a pretty successful bookish day together, guys. But that is the end of the vlog. Thank you so much for spending a day with me, doing all the bookish things that I love. It's been so much fun having you with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.